Hello. Today I will be taking a session of ITC on insurance, which is a topic on which there are a lot of confusions and doubts which are faced by the SCs. So without much ado, let's get into the topic which is there. First, let's look at the conditions for availment of ITC. Coming to section 16, every registered person is entitled to take ITC on any supply of goods or services subject to certain restrictions and conditions. The supply of the goods or services should be used or purpose should be proposed to be used in the course of furtherance of the business of the SC, of making taxable supplies or zero-rated supplies of export of goods or services or supplies of goods or services to the SEZ units or developers. And also the ITC should be the amount which is credited to the electronic credit ledger to the ECL. Coming to the conditions for availment of the credit, there has to be the possession of the tax invoice, debit note, or other tax-paying document, such as bill of entry for imported goods. Also should have received the goods or the services on which the recipient SSE proposes to avail the credit. The tax should have been paid to the government. The GST return should have been furnished by the recipient SSE, and in the GSTR 3B, the credit should have been availed by such SSE. Of course, there's a proposal that the invoice has to be uploaded by the supplier vendor in the GSTR 1 and reflected in the corresponding 2A, 2B of the recipient SSE in order to enable the credit eligibility as one of the conditions being put in place, and that is just a proposal. Okay. Continuing next. Insurance. What is the eligibility to the credit of the GST paid on the insurance services? It's eligible if it is used in the course of the business and the conditions of section 16 satisfied, and the credit should not be restricted under section 17.5. Coming to the block credit, there is a list given in section 17.5 wherein certain nature of expenses for which the credit has been restricted. So herein, the ITC should not be available in respect of the life insurance and the health insurance, is what it says. However, the ITC in respect of the life and health insurance would be available when inward supply of such goods or services is used for making an outward taxable supply by a registered person of the same or similar nature of life insurance and health insurance services. Also, the ITC on the life insurance and health insurance would be eligible. There, it's obligatory for an employer to provide it to employees under any law for timing in force. So what is it that's not eligible? Life insurance and health insurance. And to sum it up, when is it eligible? When life insurance or health insurance is being further supplied by the SC, or when the life or the health insurance is obligatory for the employer to provide to employee. Coming to Covert Insurance, it has been made mandatory as per MHA guidelines by the order, number of which I have extracted here in my presentation. However, this particular requirement of Covert Insurance, which was mandated as per MHA guidelines, that was omitted in the subsequent revised guidelines which came in after May 2020. But if you ask my view, I would say such Covert Insurance related ITC is very much eligible and should be available. Coming to the motor vehicle insurance, the ITC is eligible when the motor vehicle is used for goods transportation. The insurance ITC is eligible. It could be transportation of raw materials, could be transportation of finished goods. And also in respect of the motor vehicle insurance for motor vehicles having seating capacity of more than 13 persons, including driver. And wherever the seating capacity of the motor vehicle is less than 13 persons, the motor vehicle insurance credit is eligible when there's a further supply of such motor vehicles. It could be either a supply as a sale of goods, or it could be a supply done as a leasing service of the motor vehicles. Also, the motor vehicle insurance is eligible when it's used for passenger transportation, and also such motor vehicle is used for imparting training on driving the motor vehicle. The ITC is also eligible in respect of motor vehicle insurance taken by manufacturer of motor vehicle or supplier of general insurance service of motor vehicle. In all of the cases, such ITC is blocked. What about various other kinds of insurance ITC? Is it eligible? Fire insurance, certainly eligible. Burglary insurance, eligible. Marine insurance, eligible. Property insurance, eligible. Building insurance, eligible. Travel insurance also when it is not for a personal use, is certainly eligible. Coming to the keyman insurance, there could be a possibility of saying that it is on the life of the person who is a key person in the organization, and consequently such insurance could certainly be denied, telling that it is a species of the life insurance itself. Coming to certain judgments in the erstwhile law, which we can be looking at, one is the case of Microlabs Limited. Karnataka High Court had held that group medical health insurance policy of employees, where the premium was paid on the insurance, it was held that the obtaining of such insurance, an obligation of the employer under the ESI Act 1948. It's an activity relating to business and covered under the definition of input service. SC is entitled to take credit. So a similar concept exists even in GST, wherein it says where it's obligatory for the employer to provide the life insurance, the health insurance to employee under any law for the timing in force, then certainly the credit is eligible. Coming to a case of Raipur Autocast Limited, they held that transit insurance premium is certainly eligible. But there have been some other cases like in Stanzen, Toitetsu or Midipur, wherein they had held that life and health insurance related credit is eligible. Those, of course, may have limited validity unless we are able to prove that these kinds of insurances are obligatory for employer to provide to an employee under any law, any time being in force. So with this, I thank you for patient listening. And if there are any queries, feel free to get back to me. Thanks a lot.